Hey, what's up? It's Phoenix and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about overcoming difficulties, so without further ado, let's dive right in. Now, I am at an interesting crossroads in my life. Maybe that sounds a little bit dramatic because as we know, things are always changing. But I have been thinking a lot about overcoming difficulties. I've had some things happen in my life recently which has made things difficult for me. One of which is that I have left my job to pursue other things and to pursue other work. And I don't necessarily know just yet where it's going to lead to, but I know that I want to continue to focus on my goals. Nonetheless, it can be disappointing when you put a lot of work into something and it doesn't turn out the way that you hope. And so in that way, overcoming difficulties and the things that we face can be demeaning at times, and they can be very difficult to overcome. Now, I know that I'm going to be okay. I know that I'm going to be able to continue to move forward, but I don't know if you've ever related to me in terms of feeling like sometimes you feel a little bit overwhelmed and are not sure how things are going to turn out. I definitely have a lot of goals in my creative life as well as in my career, which includes writing. And I very much want to be a peer mentor, which would be someone who helps with mental health counseling to help people who have struggled with mental illness and other struggles in their lives. And so I have to remember that struggle is definitely a part of life, but that we can help other people through that as well. But I don't necessarily have a clear path, at least as clear as I would like it to be. But if there's anything it's learned, it's through time that I need to be patient with myself and allow myself to come to conclusions on my own and being able to do the things that are going to be helpful for my life, regardless of how hard it is, and to remind myself that I will make the world better through my actions and that I will overcome difficulties. But I can definitely understand difficult feelings, that sometimes we're not sure what's going to happen and we are concerned about the choices that we have had to make. I definitely did not want to leave my work, but it is something that I had to do. Now, as you know from watching my channel, you know that I love making YouTube videos. I very much do. But I have to admit I've been struggling a little bit learning new techniques and new ways of making videos, and unfortunately it's been a little bit tough. And so it's hard for me not to be discouraged about that as well, with realizing that I don't have all of the skills that I would like to have, and even though I may be working towards them, it doesn't mean that I'm going to immediately have the skills that I want. But this is kind of my message, which is that even though we may have these things going on in our lives, we do want to overcome difficulties, and we do ultimately overcome them. And of course, obviously that sounds obvious, so of course we want to overcome them. But what I mean by that is something that we think about and something that we really want to have happen, to be able to overcome the things that happen that may block us in life from doing the things that we want to. Now, I'm not going to pretend that any of the things that we face in life are easy, but I do think that one of the most important aspects to it is that we are constantly improving. And it's very important to keep in mind that sometimes enjoyment and happiness in life are things that we should allow ourselves to experience as well. It's not always about improvement. It's not always about being better. It's not always about doing hard work even. That even though hard work is important, there has to be other ways that we can live and other things that we can focus on. And so that is my message today, which is that even though we may struggle with things, we will overcome the difficulties. It certainly is never easy to overcome these things, but it is something that we do nonetheless. And that is why I am doing my best to have a positive attitude about the events in my life, to be able to continue to plan. And honestly, I'm very stoked. I'm continually working on my writing. And right now I'm writing a fantasy novel, which I plan on having 3 volumes of. And so that's very exciting. I am excited at the possibility of being a peer mentor, so I'm continuing to work through that process. And I also know that I will be able to move forward in life and overcome the pain. I've talked on my channel about overcoming mental illness and the various things in which I struggle with. And this is one reason, as a side note, why I think I would be a great peer mentor. But it seems to me as though I do struggle with mental illness. I'm very sensitive to things that happen in my life. I'm very sensitive to other people and to events. And that can definitely be devastating sometimes. And I don't always know how to overcome it. But like all of these things that I've been talking about, I do think that just continuing to have a practical perspective about what you've worked on and what you're continually improving upon, but also balancing that with enjoyment and with pleasure and with happiness and fun and joy, we are able to experience these things in stride. We're able to take strides with it, and I think that's incredibly important. I'll admit that it's not always easy to work with my mental health condition because, again, I'm very sensitive and it can be painful sometimes to have to overcome. But with all of these things, I feel like if I can overcome these things and learn new things and learn about life and learn about the world, I think that there's a lot that I can offer, and that definitely gives me a lot of hope. So yeah, I'm Phoenix. Keep a lookout on my channel. I know that I've been a little bit absent, but I do hope to post more. It just may take a little bit more time. But in the meantime, I encourage you to check out my other videos. I'm very excited because I recently did a live stream, so I encourage you to check that out as well. And yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to continue to share poetry and my music and my writing and philosophy. And so yeah, we will continue to work on these things. Definitely, you're not alone. We're always working through these things, and it is a very beautiful thing. We will overcome the difficulties. I'm Phoenix. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.